he'll be in prison forever.
Or probably put to death, knowing this country.
Yeah,
but,
well, I have an issue with the death penalty, but
so do I.
Yeah.
Because if you ask me, I think if you are in jail for the rest of your life in like a cell by yourself, that's worse than death. Death is like getting him off the hook.
Yeah. And just giving the state power to kill people. I know.
I know. It's a scary thing.
Yeah.
It's
because the thing is, they get it wrong.
Yep.
And they have gotten it wrong.
Yep.
And putting one innocent person to death is not worth, killing 100 serial killers or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yep. Let me read some of the charges here. Bowers is charged with 11 counts, each of obstruction of the free exercise of religious beliefs, resulting in death and use of a firearm to commit murder during a crime of violence, a conviction on any of which could be punishable by death, according to the indictment. He faces 10 other potential death penalty charges, according to the federal indictment. 2 counts of obstruction of the free exercise of religious beliefs involving an attempt to kill and use of a dangerous weapon, resulting in a bodily injury. 8 counts of obstruction of the free exercise of religious beliefs involving an attempt to kill and use a dangerous weapon, resulting in bodily injury to a public safety officer, because I guess he started shooting at cops as well, probably.
Jeez.
The remaining charges are use of a firearm during the crime of violence, 2 counts, possession of a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence, 9 counts, and obstruction of the free exercise of religious beliefs involving a dangerous weapon, and that's 1 count of that.
Yeah.
And our conversation's obviously going to go right back to sensible gun control. I mean,
yeah. Well, I feel like we've said all we can say. I mean,
yeah, but it's good to mention that nothing still has happened.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not.
Much sadness, as much awareness. The kids from Parkland, they're still going fairly strong, although it seems like even they're starting to fizzle out.
Well, look, they've lasted. Their message has lasted longer than any other victims.
I know, but look where we are. Yeah. Look where we are. It's now, when we're recording this, it's the 1st of November, 2018, and this is maybe our 15th or so mass murder story of the year.
By the way, that shooter, also a MAGA person.
I mean, I would imagine so. I didn't hear that, but I would. I have no trouble with
he was even further right than the MAGA people, because he's like, he was mad at Trump because Ivanka married Jared.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his whole thing about the reason that he carried this out, I mean, he already hated Jewish people, but it was all this fear-mongering about the caravan of, innocent people who are coming up to apply for asylum in 2 months if they get here. On the right wing, they've been saying that it's, Jewish people who are enabling this caravan.
Yeah, so here's, on his Gab.com account, Bowers claimed Jews were helping transport members of the migrant caravans. He shared a video of another Gab.com user posted of a Jewish refugee advocacy group, Hayas, on the U.S.-Mexico border. Another post that Bowers commented on, describing Hayas' overall efforts as, quote, sugar-coated evil, end quote.
Unbelievable.
He also posted a picture of 3 briefcases with a bunch of guns and ammo, and he called it his Glock family. And Gab.com has apparently been it's obviously a social media platform. The posts almost look identical to Facebook, but it's one of those websites that they don't stop people like, say, Alex Jones, like YouTube
censor,
had.
Yeah.
They don't censor, they don't ban anybody, so you're allowed to do whatever you want. His post did include criticism of Trump. He says he didn't vote for Trump.
Yeah, but he's clearly a right winger
in his post. Yeah. I don't know. It's fucking disgusting that we're talking about this again, but we'll find out whenever his sentencing is official. We'll cover that, but there's not much more that we can say, really.
Yeah, and I think, the conversation about this, apart from guns, because we've all had that conversation already. So if you don't know what we believe on that, listen to any of the other episodes with a mass shooting, and you can probably just throw a dart at our episodes and you'll find one.
Yeah, that's sad to say, but that's probably true. Yeah.
But this is around hate speech.
Yeah.
Specifically coming from the president. Mm-hmm. And all of the president's, little minions.
Hate is overtaking a lot of this country.
Oh,
and we're starting to.
Well, it was already there.
I know, but
Trump brought it out like
that's the thing.
A gardener.
That's the thing.
Bringing trees to life. Like it's been
exactly.
That might have been a poor metaphor for the Tree of Life Church.
I'm not. No, good. I'm not saying that it's a better thing when the racists and the hate is kind of quiet and hidden, because it's just as bad. But now, because the president has almost given them a platform to do so, they're just openly doing it. And now it's leading to death.
I'm not sure it is just as bad, because when they're shamed, they stay in their racist holes wherever they go.
Yeah. Now, will they ever go back? What do you think? Do you think they'll ever go back to that? Or do you think we have opened up a can of worms?
Oh, yeah. No, that's not going to end until they die.
Yeah, which is scary, man.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that far off, because most of those people are old.
They are. So. Yeah, I mean, this guy in particular wasn't that old, but the majority of them definitely are.
Yeah, and I mean, they were saying that if only millennials voted, 26% of millennials are conservative.
Right, that's fine with me.
And even conservative doesn't mean like Trump conservative.
Right.
So that's closer to like 14 or 15%. So
that's even better.
Yeah. So it's just we just got to get rid of the older generations, then we'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, we are getting to that point, but it's a very slow process for sure. So yeah, there's that another mass shooting for everyone. Let's move on to something kind of funny, actually. So Trump decided to make an executive order, which I think he officially has no idea what an executive order is.
Executive order. I put in an executive order like 40 minutes ago from my McDonald's. Where the hell is
it? Yeah, exactly. Executive orders are more so, hey, we're going to do this. And I want this to be brought up first. Okay.
Yeah, like, hey, we're just going to start getting rid of amendments.
Yeah. Wait, no.
Yep. Let's start with the 14th. Get rid of it. And then the 13th, maybe. That's the one we're really after.
The exact definition of an executive order, and I'm saying this for Trump because I know he's listening in. Okay. Executive order, noun, U.S. law. A rule or order issued by the president to an executive branch of the government and having the force of law. A rule or order, not a law. It's not a law. It's not a law. So you can't just make an executive order and snap your fingers and birthright citizenship is over.
Excuse me. Executive order. Tom's always wrong.
No, that's just accuracy. All right, you don't need a fucking executive order for that. That just happens on its own.
Executive order. People named Tom are no longer allowed to have podcasts.
So Trump thinks that he can do that. He's with an executive order. And do you know who says that you can't do that?
Everybody, but specifically in this case, Paul Ryan. I think is what you're calling for.
Paul Ryan, yeah, his old buddy.
He's like whatever. I'm retiring.
Yeah. He's at the point where I give no shits. House Speaker Paul Ryan told a Kentucky radio station on Tuesday that, quote, you cannot end birthright citizenship with an executive order, end quote.
Look, little Polly, maybe you should just stick to the things you know, like the law.
Like the law, yeah.
And leave executive orders to the executive orderer.
No, seldom do we agree with Paul Ryan on anything.
Yeah.
But
in this case, he's right, though. You can't just go changing the Constitution with an executive order.
So he says
they are specifically against that.
He goes on to say, you obviously cannot do that.
I'll show you obvious.
He said an executive order ending birthright citizenship is impossible. He also went on to say, as a conservative, this is where it gets interesting to me. Ryan went on to say, as a conservative, I am a believer in following the plain text of the Constitution, and I think in this case the 14th Amendment is pretty clear.
It is pretty clear.
The right to end citizenship for anyone born in the United States is guaranteed in the 14th Amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah.
So what that means is that Trump cannot do anything about it.
Excuse me. Wrong. Look, it's already over. I signed it and everything. I even drew the little picture of the brown boy getting kicked out of the country.
And it's like one of those, like those like small pads where you draw a picture and then the one like right underneath, you add a little difference.
Yeah.
And as you like flip through it, it just changes and all you see is Trump kicking the kid.
Yeah. Goodbye, little brown boy.
Specifically an infant.
Yeah. Then we'll take him to court. Even though he can't speak English, we'll take him to court, the little 4-year-old. We'll put him up. He'll have to defend himself. Go ahead,
now,
defend yourself.
I will say this. Okay. Paul Ryan, as correct as he is, does go back to being Paul Ryan. As the House Speaker sought to empathize common ground with the president on immigration, saying, quote, we're obviously totally what? Where we totally obviously agree with the president is getting at the root issue here, which is
Brown
unchecked
people.
illegal immigration. We, House Republicans, and this president are in total agreement on the need to stop illegal immigration, to secure our border and fix our laws.
Illegal immigration, like the people who were born here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like...
his kids were born from somebody who was not a citizen.
Who, Paul Ryan?
No. Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Right? This is me, by the way.
Yeah.
Because both of my parents are not citizens of this country. So I'm part of that.
So Tom will be joining us next week from Italy.
Okay, that's fine. Actually, I just realized. Pick me.
At least their fascism comes with wine.
Yeah, exactly. And beautiful scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And romance and food. Oh, and history. Wow.
Yeah.
I am not doing a good job selling this country right now. But so when I saw this going on, I'm like, wait, if he actually could, am I in trouble? Because
maybe. I don't know. I don't know how this would be applied.
I don't
Probably
know.
just to brown people, so I wouldn't worry about it.
I guess, but again, this actually it's rare as a white person to have problems like this.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself like, wait, am I actually going to get sent back to Italy? Because I'm really excited.
That's funny because the first thing I thought was, well, if they let him do this and the Supreme Court lets him do it, that sets a very interesting precedent, which means that as soon as he's not president, hopefully 2020 or earlier,
right.
Can we just get rid of amendments we don't like? Because I know one of them in the top 2 that I'd like to get rid of.
Yeah.
And it's
Number
not
2?
the first one.
I'm also thinking, because one of my father's actually trying to become a citizen. Like, if he gets a citizenship before, let's say Trump could do this, which he can't, obviously.
No.
I'm just saying if he could, and my dad gets a citizenship, am I safe?
I don't know.
Or because I was born here when they weren't citizens? Like, how would you do that? And how many people would actually be affected?
I'm
an American citizen.
Yeah.
I'm an American citizen. I vote.
For now.
I pay all my... I know!
We'll see.
I know! My future is unclear.
This is one of those weird
unclear.
moments where, because Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States, my dad has been a permanent citizen since he was born. So actually the only threat would have been on my mom's side, but I think her parents were both citizens when she was born. I think their parents were citizens. I think their grandparents were the ones who came over. But how far back does it go? Like, how long does it get undone?
Seriously. Yeah, I don't know. And my parents are both like permanent residents.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to renew their green card or anything. Like they're just
who the fuck is going to be left here? Just like the people in the territories and the Native Americans.
Yeah. And like now you're talking about like, hey, I'm a white guy, by the way. So how many white guys are going to be kicked out? A lot. I think a lot more than people think. But it's just such a dumb thing.
Starting to like this more and more.
Jesus Christ. It's a dumb thing.